All right, so since the majority of you did not see anything that I was doing before when I was in the screen, I'm going to go ahead and start over again. So what we're going to talk about is if your customer is interested in using labsco.com, how do they sign up? They go to www.labsco.com, and when they mouse over my account, they should be able to click on the Create Account link that's in the middle of the dropdown. So once we click that, we see two elements. One says I have not purchased products from Labsco before, and one says that I have purchased products from Labsco before. What this one is for our customers who are looking us up online, may not have any ties to a sales representative at all, and they see our site, they find a product that they'd like to buy, and they decide they want to be a Labsco account owner. So they have to start here, because Labsco.com users must have an account ID before they can sign up. So here is the new customer form, which we're going to go into a lot more detail about on another call. But I just want to show you the very bottom of it right now, because the new customers can actually sign up for Labsco.com right here. And at the end of the new customer process, their IDs are created. So that's when we do have an account number that we can use. Okay, so I just wanted to let you guys know that that was there. So that's for our brand new customers, and you guys will find out all about that on another call. But this is the one that we're concerned with right now. We have I have purchased products from Labsco before. So if they do, that means they have an account number. And all they have to do is fill out this little form here, their name, whatever they want their username to be in terms of their ID to log in, their password, their email address, which is going to be where their order confirmations and any notifications from Labsco.com will go. They're going to let us know that they're not a robot. They're going to let us know that all-important customer number, which is a 5 or 6 digit number at Labsco, and their phone number, which that's going to come in handy for our web administrators that are taking care of the new registrations coming through, just in case there's a problem. That way they've got a direct line to the customer. Okay? So once they fill this information out, they click register. And then they're going to get a message that they need to go to their email and look for a message from Labsco.com. And within that email is a link. And all that link does is it verifies that the email address that they gave us is good. So once they click that link, that is what sends us an email that says, hey, this customer wants to be a new account owner. Okay? So what happens then is we are notified at web@labsco.com that there's a new registration. Our web administrators go through and verify that the customer number is good and that all the other information is good. They approve the account, and they send the customer an email letting them know, A, that their account is approved and they're ready to start shopping, and B, they send them a couple of things that will help them learn how to use Labsco.com. One is a quick reference guide that I'll show you all at the end of the call. And the other one is a link to our help page, which I'll also show you at the end of the call. Okay, but it's pretty easy, and it usually takes very little time to set up. Usually, I would say within the realm of 1 to 3 hours. Okay, it's almost always the same day unless there's a problem. Okay, all right, so that is how you can sign up for Labsco.com. So let's talk about logging in. You all have new logins. I saw that there were quite a few people that had not logged in yet. So make sure you let me know if you did not receive an email from Labsco.com telling you what your login and your password is. For most everybody, I set it up so your login was your first initial and last name, and that your password was your first name and a number 1. Okay, so if you didn't get the email, you can give that a shot, and then definitely get with me if you're not able to get it. But I'm going to show you how to log in from here. So here's my account again, and I'm going to log in with my test user. So all I did was click in the username, type that in, then I tabbed on my keyboard and I type in my password. I click login, and once I see the My Account screen, I am on the website. Okay? Now, just like I promised in that email I sent you guys, the first thing I want to do is we want to go to my profile and we want to change, at the very least, your password. What I'm going to suggest is that you actually update both your username and your password to match the username and password that you use to get into Sales Utility, because that way you only have one ID and one password to remember. Okay? So once you're in my profile, you see a couple little tidbits of information, but this is what we want to deal with, the Edit Profile link. So I'm going to click on Edit Profile, and I'm going to go into Username, and I can change it to anything I want. So if I'm changing it to something like what I've got for Sales Utility, I'm going to put in test.rosalou, and then I'm going to put in my password that I use for Sales Utility. And then once I've done that, I just click Submit. And the next time I log in, I will use that new ID and new password. But I do not need to log out. Everything's already saved for me. So it's as easy as that. Okay, so I definitely suggest, if you have not done that already, to do that either during this call or after this call. All right, so let's talk about impersonating customer details. So the majority of you all are account managers, so you're going to have our sales rep functionality. So what that's going to mean is that you're going to mouse over My Account, and you're going to click on My Customers, or if you're on the My Account page that we hit when we first logged in, the My Customers is right there too. So you've got a couple of different ways to do it. So we click on My Customers, and you're going to get a giant list of all of your customers broken down by ship to. And that's because you, as sales reps, are assigned to the customers by the ship to ID in Profit 21. So that's how we do it here as well. Okay? So now notice the sales rep ID that I'm using has upwards of 10 pages. So that could take you an awfully long time to find the ID that you need. So that's why we have this filter. And if you notice, we have some directions on using the Sales Impersonate right here, and you're going to see directions like this all over the site. So that way the customer pretty much just needs to read directions on what they need to do and then do it. Okay? All right, so all I have to do to find my customer is if I know the customer number, I can type it here. Same way with the customer name or the ship to number or the ship to name or even a piece of the address. Okay? So who I want to look up is Mary. So if I put in Marion and I push enter or click search, it's going to show me everything that has Marion in one of these categories. Okay, so you can see why this VA hospital showed up. It's because it's actually in Marion, Indiana. Okay, so it's actually searching all of those areas. So the one I want to impersonate today is this one right here, the one with ship to 56895. So all I have to do to impersonate is to click this impersonate radio button. So I'm saying, okay, that's the one I want. And then I'm going to click the impersonate button. And notice the site is working. And you'll notice the site is done when you see it say that it is impersonating a particular customer number, ship to number, there's the customer name, and there's the customer address. So that way you always know who you are impersonating on every single page in Lapsco.com. Okay? So I'm not sure whether we have our RSDs on the phone, Chris, David, or Keith. You all have a little bit different functionality, so I'm going to show you that real quick before I log back in as the test. The way my normal ID is set up is how you guys are set up. So we have something that's called Choose Customer Number, and what this will do is it will let you see any customer number in the system. So all you have to do is put a customer number in. Want to see 42175, and click submit, then the next time I look at my at any page in lapsco.com, it will be associated to that customer number. So that is the way you guys can see every account in the system. So that's the type of RSD functionality that we have. Okay. Now I'm going to log back out and log back in as my new login and password. Page before, if you guys remember. And there I am. So you can see it works perfect. Okay. And I'm going to go back and find that impersonation again. And this time, just so you can see it can be done, I'm going to look it up by the ship to, or by the customer. There we go. And there is my number that I want to impersonate. I click impersonate. And now I can say I'm impersonating that person. All right, so really quick, I'm going to show you some of the things that a customer can do to make them self-sufficient on lapsco.com. But let's check out the items first and see what they can see. So this is one of our items that we use for test purposes all the time. So I just typed in an item number up here and pushed the enter key, and you can also push search. This search box is available on every page in lapsco.com. And here it is right here, AE2161. We have small pictures on the search results screen. You can tell what supplier it's coming from and their supplier part number. And for Siemens healthcare items only, we also have the Siemens material number, because Siemens has their normal legacy number, and they also have the number that SAP generates when they did their conversion. So that is that number right there. They can tell what units of measure that we have available. There's also an availability column, so they can tell if the item is in stock, which means it's at one of our warehouses, or if it's drop ship, or if it's a special order item, which means that we have to order it and then it comes into our warehouse and ships out from there. Okay. If I click on the picture or the item ID, then I can see more information. For the items that have it, we have MSDSs on the item detail screen. So all I have to do is click that button, and it's going to show me all the information that we've gotten in the safety data sheet. Also, if we have a package insert, we have all the information that comes to us from the supplier. So those are available here. We can see the stock. We can actually see how many bottles are available on, in our system right now. This is actually LabSco wide. Okay, so that'll give you an idea. So if they want to see exactly how many we have, as well as knowing they're in stock, they can go on the item detail page. Okay. Also, you may have noticed that several of the items that we looked at have little icons, and when you mouse over those icons, they give you information. And on the item detail page, it's actually all out there in black and white for them. So usually the icons have information about if an item were to be returned, what do we require in terms of the return. If a particular item may cause extra freight for the customer, like a hazmat, or if it's cold and it requires a cooler, then we have icons for that too. And you guys will get to see plenty of them as we're going through the site. Okay. We also have the customers who purchased this item also purchased area, just giving them a few suggestions on things to buy. And that's pretty much what we have on the item detail page. So they can get a lot of information about items just by doing a search. So let's say a customer is used to buying a particular item, and they pull it up one day and they find out it's discontinued. So again, I just typed it in and pushed enter, and this item that I used to buy is discontinued all of a sudden. So, but notice it's discontinued. Click here to see substitutes. This is actually something brand new that we've added within the last week. So this way, this will let a customer know right away that it may be discontinued, but we've got something else you may be able to use. So we click here, and it's going to show, it's going to try to focus on that alternate or similar items are listed below, and it's going to show you an item. If they want to find out more information on that item, they can click on the item ID like we did before, and then potentially purchase it. Okay? Now, it doesn't mean that every single item that we have has a substitute, though. Run into one of those, like the one I'm going to bring up. This particular item does not have a substitute. So, but instead of just saying, well, this is discontinued, and then the customer leaving the site and going someplace else to buy their products, we move them to you guys. We say to contact the sales rep for substitute suggestions. Okay? And if you guys don't know a particular substitute for an item, remember who can help you. The RSSs that are also on this call with you. If the RSS doesn't know, then we have some great people in marketing who can help with that, like Amanda Beck and Bob Kramer that you may have met while we were in Richmond for your sales training. Okay? All right, so let's talk about what may happen if our item number changes. It happens every once in a while. The item number may change at the supplier, so we change it in our system. We may have put it into our system wrong, and we had to fix it. So we may end up with something like this. The site will actually tell them what has replaced that item. So it'll say LSA 644ADH006 has replaced this item, and they'll use that item number for future orders. So if they ever get this, they're going to know it's the exact same product. It's just a different item number. Okay, so that way they know right there. We have plenty of customers that like to use their supplier part numbers to order, or their Siemens material numbers to order, and they're used to it. And when they get their invoices, they expect to see it, so that way they can easily say, okay, this Lapsco item number is my supplier number, whatever it happens to be. So let's see what we can do with that. Look up supplier number 221261, which is a Becton Dickinson micro item. We will be able to tell that this is the supplier part number for our Lapsco part number BBL 221261. It highlights it here so that way they can see it. And best of all, when I order it, and all I have to do that is to put a quantity in, change my unit of measure if I want, and then click Add Items to Carts, it is going to show that I searched for it as 221261. So it will remember that, and it will remember it all the way through to the order confirmation. When they pull up their My Orders here, it'll show. When they pull up My Invoices here, it's going to show. And it even comes through to our Profit 21. Okay, so that way they'll be able to tell that this is the item number that I used. And this also works in our shopping list and in our quick order pad, which is right here. And this is for our customers that like to type in their items and their quantities and just submit from there. So one thing about Lapsco.com is there's a ton of different ways to do different things. It just depends on what the customer prefers to do. Okay? What else can the customer do? They can check their own pricing, because every item that they pull up, this right here is their pricing. And then obviously I'll figure out the total if the quantity is more than one over here. Okay? So say they look at this item and a quote had just been done for them, and it says $51.01 here, but it was actually supposed to be $45. Then instead of having to contact you and then you having to try to figure out who can fix this pricing, or instead of them calling customer service and then customer service doing the same thing, emailing somebody, then all they have to do is to click here to report a pricing issue, and they can do this from both the search and the active cart. and it'll take them to a new form. And all they have to do is fill this out. And when they click submit, it goes directly to our contracts department, who handles all of our pricing. So it goes right to the people that are going to be helping them out. Okay, so there's no go-betweens. It just goes directly to the people that are going to help. Okay, so definitely let your customers know about this and let them know it's there. This is another way they can help themselves by reporting it, and it goes directly to who needs it. When contracts figures out what the problem is, they'll let the customer know. If they need for you all to do something, then they will copy you in and let you know that. They are very good about that. Okay? So that's another way a customer can help themselves. They can also check on their order status. Let's go back up here and let's go into some of the different things you can do in my account. So I'm going to go to my orders now to find this out. So in my orders, we have an order status column. So this top order here, I can tell that it is in process. It's not completely done yet. And if I click on the order number, then I can find out some item detail to try to figure out what is still in process. So I can tell here that all of my items have shipped except for this one item. And that one item's on back order, so that's the one that I'm waiting on. While I'm here, I can look and see what the tracking numbers were for these 6 items. So I can tell I've got 3 different shipments coming to me from the Louisville, Kentucky warehouse. It will let them know that. And if I want to find out where my packages are at this point, then I can click on the tracking number, and it will show you either the UPS or FedEx site and tell you all the information. If it was delivered, where it was left, who received it, and if it's not delivered yet, it'll show you exactly where it's at. Okay? So that all that information is found on the My Orders page. In Supply Manager, it's through that track packages link. So here it's a little bit different. This is actually in the My Orders area. All right, so also one other thing I want to show you is they can actually order this entire order again just by clicking one button. So this is another way the site can help them save time. So if they know that what they ordered last Monday is what they're going to be ordering this Monday, they can just come to this past order and click that button, and all these items will go directly into their cart, and then all they have to do is check out and be on their merry way. Okay? All right, so what else can they do? They can also check all of their back orders in one spot. I've got a back order here. Do I have any more? I'm going to go to my back orders, and I can tell here that I've only got that one back order, so that's great. Okay, so if you've got several orders open at a time, which plenty of our customers do at any given point, then you'll be able to see any back orders right here in one spot. What about invoices? They can see all their invoice detail from here as well. So if I go into this invoice, oh, and by the way, you can also see how much the customer owes, so their total outstanding balance here too. They can click on the invoice. And what I really like about the invoice is we have our freight breakdown in it. Okay? So how does this help the customer? If they are charged extra fees, it's going to tell them exactly what they got charged here. So they're going to look at here and say, well, I've got a cooler charge of $20. Do I have any cold products? How do I even know that? By looking at the icons. Remember, the icons show everywhere. So they're going to show in the order confirmations. They're going to show all over the site. So I can tell right here that I've got 4 cold products. Our cold item icon is a little snowflake, isn't that cute? But so that's how I got this cooler charge, is I've actually got 4 items that are cold. Okay. All right, so what else can I do? Say I am ordering a product that requires a medical license. So at Labsco, we only sell Legend devices now. McKesson is very big in Legend drugs and not too big on Legend devices. But the way to look at it is it's pretty much the same processes for both. Okay, they definitely require a medical license to purchase. And for these types of items, we have an icon for that too. This item is a Legend device and requires a medical license to purchase. If this customer does not have a medical license, it will not let them buy the item. So if I try to purchase it, now this particular customer that I'm logged in as right now, they have several ship-tos that may have a license and a couple that may not. So we're asking them up front, which one do you want to ship the item to? So I'm going to try this one and see if it lets me do it. And it did in this case, okay? But what can happen is if the customer does not have a medical license at all, then they will get an error. So what I'm going to do real quick is I'm going to impersonate another customer so you can see this happen. So this time I'm going to impersonate Madison Avenue. Labs. So I'm just going to type in Madison Avenue and click my search. And there it is down here at the bottom. So I'm going to click on this one and click impersonate. And now that has changed. So if I try to order this product now, and I'll do it from here so you guys can see how this works. So if I have that same item number and I want a quantity of 1, that's pretty much all a customer would need to use to order on the quick order pad. It's either going to go into the cart or they're going to get this. Okay, so it's going to tell them right up front that this item is a prescription or Legend product. Our system shows you either don't have a license or it's expired, and you can submit an active medical license and view our Legend policy here. Okay, so if they click that, they're going to get the same type of form that you saw earlier with the pricing disputes. They can read through here and see our policy. We can scroll down and fill out the information and upload the RX licenses here. And again, when they click submit, it's going to go directly to the people that are going to handle putting it in. And that is our RX license team, headed up by James Ardwin, who I know a couple of you guys have gotten to talk to already. So once they get the email that lets them know there's a new license, they'll check it out, make sure it's the correct format, exactly what they need. They upload it into P21. They let the customer know that it is done and when it's going to show up on Labsco.com. For the majority of the item detail that's on Labsco.com, everything updates within 15 to 45 minutes. So in this case, this is another one that also updates during that time. Okay. So, but that's another way the customer can take care of themselves and submit a new license so they'll be able to order that product. Okay. Also, if I'm done purchasing all my items and I want to go check out, which I showed you up here before, I can also submit a new ship to address right here underneath where I would select a ship to. And that is a completely new form. And we just have them fill out the information. Everything from does it require inside delivery, what's the new or updated ship to address. When they click submit, this also goes to the contracts department. They are in charge of putting in our new ship to locations because we want to make sure that that ship to is connected to any pricing that they have. So that's why they have to do it. It takes place at that level. So they take care of putting it in, and again, they let the customer know that it takes 15 to 45 minutes to show up, but they let them know when it's complete. So again, that's something else that they can do. All right, what else can they do? They can also create sales usage lists. So if I go to my account and sales usage, there's actually a little report how-to here that can show you all the different things you can do. But if I just go directly with what I have here, plus I click this current price and click search, then I'm going to be able to see all of my pricing, all of my current pricing for every item that I've purchased within the start date and end date that I picked. And I can also see how many items that I've purchased from week to week. And I can change that too. I can do it by month or by year. And I can also show that by dollar amount if I want instead of quantity. And here's one other thing I want to point out real quick too. You may have noticed while we've been going through all these different pages that the ship to is automatically picked for you. And that's because you are impersonating that ship to. So you'll notice that all throughout the site. Okay? And one of the last things I'm going to show you is the default shopping list for all your customers. If you've got a brand new customer who does not have a shopping list, you can actually direct them here and it will show them all of the items that they have purchased within the last 3 months. And they can change that if they want. They can actually go up to 2 years. They can change the ship tos that they're looking at. But like I said, it's automatically going to pick that because of your impersonation functionality. And they can even filter it. They can look for an item number or item description, and they can find it right there, just in case they weren't sure whether they purchased it or not. And all they would have to do is the same type of thing I talked about before. They can click on the unit of measure and pick one if there's more than one. They can put in a quantity. They add selected items, and they're done. Shopping lists are the best way to go in terms of a customer ordering from us. So I strongly suggest if a customer does not have a shopping list and this is the only one they've got, to encourage them to make more. And where they can do that, and also where our RSSs and CSRs can help with this, is in my Save Shopping List. We've got functionality that we can actually add a customer shopping list from our own IDs. And this is something that you guys can do too. And it will show up in the customer's website. So it'll, once you upload it, you won't have access to it anymore. The customer will actually have access. Okay? So your CSRs all know how to do this. So do all of our web administrators. I would show you how to do this, but we're running short on time. So I'm just going to give you some examples of what you can suggest to your customers to make a shopping list. For one thing, a sales utility quote. Okay, so if you remember from the sales training that I threw out at the last minute, if you click this quote lines XLS, it's going to give you a straight Excel sheet of all this data. So it's going to be a ton of extra data. So we only need 3 of those columns, but that's the best way to send a quote to a CSR or an RSS that's helping you load a list. Because all they'll have to do is get rid of all the columns, the D, U, and Y. And then they'll be able to upload the shopping list for you that's built right off of this quote. So this is a little bit more manual than what you guys have in Supply Manager. You guys can actually upload shopping lists straight from your stat, which is fantastic. I love that. So this is a little bit more manual. We've got a certain template that our shopping lists have to follow. And that template is, here, I'll go ahead and click on this real quick. If you saw some of the buttons before, you can actually create a shopping list directly from the search, or you can upload it through an Excel sheet, which was what I was talking about. So this Excel sheet, you have to have 3 columns. The item ID is the main one you have to have, but if you don't have the quantity or the unit of measure, you can literally get rid of those 2 and just upload it by the item ID. But that is the format we have to have for our shopping list to get input. And you can see how easy it is once you've got that filled out and saved to your desktop. You just put in the shopping list name. You choose wherever you save the file. I can tell this customer does not order on the web because otherwise I would be able to pick their user ID right above the new shopping list. So that way I'm saying I want this shopping list to show up for this customer. Okay. So, but that's how importing the shopping list works. And we do this all the time, every single day. So if you've got customers that need help with it, we can help. Uh, Last thing I'm going to show you real quick that you have access to as a sales rep is this customer pending suspended orders. You guys have suspended orders in Supply Manager too. This is for the customers that place an order, but the orders have to be approved by somebody higher up before they come into Labsco.com. Okay, so this is where you can see if this customer has any pending orders that the approver hasn't looked at yet. And this particular ship-to does not have that. But I just wanted to show you guys just so you know it's there. Last thing I'm going to show you is the help tools. So if I go to Nexus, you all should be familiar with by now. You may not have gone on the intranet site much. So if I go on the intranet, there are a ton of Labsco.com resources. Okay, that quick reference guide that I mentioned that we give to all of our new web customers, that's right here. So if I click on that, all I have to do is click on the link and it will download so that way you guys can check it out. So definitely take a look at that. Anything that I missed in this call will more than likely get taken care of right there. You can see how to create a shopping list in detail with this, the shopping list how-to. There's a Labsco flyer or a Labsco.com flyer that shows you a bunch of different things that Labsco.com can do that you can give to your customers. If the customer misses the RX license link, if they just saw an error and didn't really realize they could click the link, you can go here and send them the link from here. Okay, so there's a bunch of different things you can do. There's also a guide to clearing the browser cache. You may notice that we're working through Chrome right now, and that's because, just like Mike Johnson mentioned during your training, Internet Explorer does not have, it's not getting updated anymore, no support anymore, so there are definitely quite a few bugs that are getting that are unchecked and are affecting some of our customers that are using Internet Explorer. That doesn't mean that they can't use Internet Explorer, but it does mean they need to clear their browser cache a heck of a lot more. So we provide that guide here and also in a video, which I'm going to show you where that is located. The help that I mentioned before is right in that help icon up there at the top, and there are 14 help videos. So if you get a chance, by all means, go through here. They're very short, very concise. Check them out. Anything that's not in the quick reference guide and also that I didn't cover here is definitely in these videos. Okay, so I am only 1 minute behind. I'm going to open it up for questions. Do we have any questions? Going once? Going twice? Okay, guys, so the last thing I'm going to say then is if you all have any problems at all, please email me, especially if it comes to that you can't get into Labsco.com yet. I will definitely help you out with that. If you think of a question later, email me. If you have a problem at all, you can email web@labsco.com or itsupport@labsco.com. And one of us will be there to assist you in anything that you need. So we really appreciate you guys coming on the call today, and if we don't have any questions, that's pretty much it. Have a great Friday.